Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Well, yesterday we had a fair amount of rain. We didn't get the big rainstorm that we thought we were going to get and the high winds and stuff. So we still got leaves on the trees, fortunately, and nothing came down. But we don't think there's going to be any more grass cutting and so forth. You know, I think the grass cutting season for us is over with, and the leaf raking season will be starting before too long. So what I'm going to do, I'll take out the tractor and pull out the battery. Before I can do that, of course, I got to pump up the front tires, which are always flat. But I'm not going to put that on video because I've done that before. But I got to take the battery out because as you remember, I bought a new battery for the tractor last spring, and I want to make very sure that it doesn't freeze up. So I keep it in the shed and trickle charge it my 1 amp charger once a month. Yeah, you can see there's no more grass growing now. I mean, you can see it, you know. So the grass cutting season for us is pretty much over. And if I need to trim up a little bit, I'll use the push mower. So I'm going to get started and get the tractor out of there and pull the battery out. Well, both front tires are flat, of course, and as I showed you in earlier videos, this is why I put this up here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to pump up the tires because they'll actually become disconnected from the rims. They really need tubes in the front. In the back tires, a few years ago, I had a tire place put tubes in for me. But on the front, I didn't do that. So I have to pump it up because they both go flat when I store it. So I have to pull this out in order to pull the battery out of this and store it in the shed. So I'm going to pump up these tires, and after I get that done, I'll come back on this video. So don't go away. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or whatever you want to drink this morning, and I'll be right with you. I'm going to go get the compressor, but we got to disturb Uncle Dorkle here. Yeah, Uncle Dorkle is looks like he might not get done before Halloween. I have not received anything from the UK, and it doesn't look like I will before Halloween. So it's still a little early, but it's going to take me a while to hook all that stuff up. So I may not get it done before Halloween. All right, I'm going to plug this in and fill this small air compressor. I have the big one back there, the big Husky, but it isn't worth dragging it out of the shed just to pump the tractor tires up. So that's why a lot of times you'll see me use the little one quite a bit. It's a pain in the ass to keep charging it, but it does pump up the 2 front tires without having to be recharged, so it's fine for that. What? Hey, what's your problem? I got things to do. All right, that's what we want. Now we can pull these out, put these over here, and we can pull out the tractor. Oh, I left the damn key in it. Isn't that something? Left the damn key in it. Christ almighty. The head like a banana. Sometimes I wonder about myself. All right, what we do here, we gotta remove that. Now, if you remember, I had added a rod. You may not be able to see that. Right under here, a threaded rod right here. Well, it's not a threaded rod, it's only threaded on one end. Why? Tapped it, dyed it, I should say. So that holds it in there. So I got to remove that. and then put this battery in the shed, give it a charge for overnight, I guess, and then just keep it charged once a month so it doesn't freeze up. Let's see. Yeah, we got some gas in there too, so we put a gas shut off here a couple years ago, and of course a gas filter. So we're just gonna disconnect that and drain it into a container. We'll do that off camera. Nothing special about that procedure. And then we'll get the battery out and we'll push it back into the shed, and it'll be good for another year. I would say probably this year I've used this mower on the lawn, such as it is over there, probably, I'm going to say 3 times this summer. Maybe 4. That's about it. Alright, I got the gas all drained out and connected this back up again. We can shut this off, but it really don't matter. It's all empty anyways. I'm going to just brush this down a little bit. And over here, I got to check and make sure the mothballs, yeah, they're still good. And I'm going to put new ones in there. They're getting a little small. I put up in there. I leave this cowling off. There's guys that say that you shouldn't do that, but I'm sorry. I've had this now for 4 years that way with the cowling off, and there's been no problems with it. Of course, when it's 90 degrees out, I don't cut the grass anyways. If it gets much over 70 in the summertime when the humidity's high, I don't use this thing because I can't stand the heat and humidity, so I only cut in the cooler weather or when it's comfortable. But anyways, back here, got to get some wrenches at 7/16 I believe to pull these off. But first of all, I got to go under here and I got to take the rod that I put in last year. This rod right here. You can see the little hook on it. That's a little rod right there. You can see it moving. Well, that's my homemade thing that I showed you in a video I made last year, I believe it was, or last spring. So I'm going to take that out. I'll do that off camera. Well, it's a nice day. It's looks like 55, 56 degrees. You know, my kind of weather, you know, to work. But if it gets real cold, you know, gets into the 40s and it's windy, I'm not going to be able to do anything on Uncle Dorkle, even in the shed, unless I run electric heater, which can get expensive. So there is a strong possibility, unless the weather stays mild, that I might not be able to get Uncle Dorkle done this year. You know, still waiting for that package from the UK, and as of today, there's nothing in the mail. Well, you know, it has to go through customs, I think, and I think that's what's going to hold it up for many weeks. And by that time, we'll have snow on the ground, and I won't be able to do anything. But anyways, we're gonna. You can see now I got the battery wires off, cables off. So I just got to remove this rod. So I'm going to put the camera down here and get onto that. Now I put grease in this on the threads of this rod here. So that I can get the nut off the end. Of course my fingers are covered with grease now, but that's not a big deal. As long as I can get the nut off here, and she's turning. I'm turning the rod and holding the nut. It would be easier if I had a wing nut, but I didn't have one to fit this thread that I put on this rod here. Okay, get this off. You can see that or not, but there's the washer and the nut. And here's the rod. such as it is, loaded with grease. And now I can pull the battery straight out of here because the battery don't have a handle, if you watch my video back in the springtime when I installed this battery and this setup here. So I'm going to get this grease off my hands and I'll be right back with you. Okay, now of course we're going to use both hands to pull this out because there's no more handles. They don't make them with handles anymore, leastwise of this type battery. So we'll do that off camera. But you can see the by closer examination here. This is the rod. It's got a lot of grease on the end that I had in the shed that I made up last year that just slides through up underneath here like this on the sides underneath the fenders, and a washer and a nut at the end so that just sits like that to hold the battery from moving. So it sits back here about in this area. Because the original thing was like you just twist it and it locks in. That was fine for a battery with a handle, but you need two hands to pull this out because it don't have a handle. So I had to remove that and put this in there. Well, we'll replenish the mothball sack. Alright. This is the size they should be, not... They lasted quite a while, but they do evaporate. But when I put this on the engine, I make sure the engine's cold. Of course, I didn't start it today, so there's no problem with heat, because the heat will just make these just evaporate very quickly. You know, this has to last all winter. It may not. That's why I left the damn cowling off the engine. I'm not going to pull that damn cowling on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Every time I want to clean out the mouse crap. I almost had an engine fire here a couple years ago because of the fact that I didn't know it was a mouse nest in there, and it... let's go over to the tractor here. Because I... didn't see the mouse nest in there because the damn cowling was in the way. Take the damn cowling off. Don't need it. You got enough cowling right here, as I said so many times. You got the fan in here, cools down or blows down onto here. The old engines, if you look at the real old engines of the 40s, they didn't have the cowling. They were all open like this. I've said this before. Guys can disagree with me all you want, but I'm telling you, leave the damn cowling off. So I'm going to put this up underneath here. I'm going to need two hands to do that. And this is pretty fat, so I might have to take some out. It's only got like about an inch clearance there. I'll be right back on the video in a minute here. Don't go away. Okay, I got the mothball sack up underneath there. Boy, that's strong. All right, now... I think we can push this back into the shed. And we got to remember to take the damn key out here. I swear, the older I get, the more forgetful I am. Alright, while we still got air in the tires, it takes like overnight for them to run down. We put the blocks back in. Okay. All right. Now these are loose now, like I say. When I go to pull this out in the next summer, I say next summer because it probably won't be any grass growing before then. It won't be in the spring maybe, unless we get a very mild spring. These will be flat. This bumper, you're probably wondering, this Mower tractor did not come with a bumper. This came from a shipping crate at work. They threw these out. And it just bolted right in and I had to drill or anything. That's a good thing because otherwise you're hitting this, you know. This helps a lot. And also gives me a way of pulling it out. All right, we put it away. And we'll put the battery away. Put the battery away in the shed, put it on charge. We'll check the water level first before we do that. Put the balls away. And that's it. All right, that concludes this video. Thank you all for watching. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. Take care, everyone.